Welcome to our first ever episode of Into the Mediaverse, where we appreciate the past and embrace the future. I'm your host, Austin, followed by my wonderful co-hosts, Phoebe and Heath. How are we doing?
Doing
Good.
good.
Awesome. So, what we're talking about today is first, I want to start off with true or false. And we're going to be talking about movies and just give you guys some lore or fun facts about movies. So, let's start it off. True or false? Who directed the Titanic? James Cameron, Mel Gibson, or Ryan Johnson?
Oh, I know
answer
this
that?
one. James Cameron.
That is correct. You didn't even give an answer there.
I don't even know.
Do you even know who James Cameron is?
No.
He did Avatar.
Who's there?
Okay.
I like that. Next question. Who directed Empire Strikes Back? George Lucas, Irvin Kershner, or Richard Donner?
I know this one.
I think you know this one, but let's give her
I probably want to say it's George Lucas, but I think I'm wrong on that one.
Lucas. You want to?
Irvin Kershner.
It's Irvin Kershner.
Okay.
The
You're
main
close.
reason why
You're
people like
close.
it is because Lucas didn't have as much involvement and people kept telling him no.
That is true.
Okay.
Okay. Final question, because we're only doing 3 today. Who directed Sinners? Ryan Coogler, Quentin Tarantino, or Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder.
Okay,
I think
know
it's
what's not-
Coogler.
Think it's Coogler? Coogler.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of these. I know the movies, but I
Yeah.
don't know any of the directors or any of so I don't pay attention
Ryan
to those.
Coogler did the Black Panther movie alongside, obviously, Sinners. Quentin Tarantino is obviously famous for Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, movies like that. Zack Snyder did Man of Steel, which I think is a really bad movie. Batman vs. Superman, like he did the DC movies. Let's move on. So, what is y'all's favorite movie of all time? Let's just get that out of the way.
Favorite movie of all time, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Figured. Probably my favorite movie all time is I'm gonna say Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Was that the recent one that just came out?
No, that is not the recent one.
That's
I think-
Dead
2018, I
That's
think,
right.
is when
yeah,
that one
that
came
was.
out.
I didn't. Yeah, I think that was 2018, and then I know there was 2 after. So I
Yeah,
think
it
that
was
like
part
the-
1 and 2 for Dead
Yeah.
Reckoning, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
I got to go with Sam. I do love me a good baseball movie.
Yeah, watched that a little while back again. It's a
Yeah.
good movie.
I've never seen it.
Never seen Sandlot?
No.
We got to do our homework, man.
Yeah.
We got to do our homework,
Hey,
man.
James Earl Jones was in it. He was Mr. Myrtle.
He was the old man with the dog, Hercules.
Okay.
Moving on, we're going to be talking about old directors and new directors and comparing and contrasting older directors. So what I assigned myself with was Alfred Hitchcock. I think he's one of the most iconic directors anyone could ever think of. And when you think of movies, you obviously think of Psycho. That kind of changed the way movies are because it's a horror movie about Norman Bates, obviously the serial killer. I don't really remember too much about the movie, but I do know that the ending is weird. But what old directors do you think of?
For me, I mainly think of Mel Brooks.
That's a great one. Yeah.
With him, I think he definitely dived into humor a lot more than some of the modern directors and just parodied things. For instance, with Spaceballs, basically a very elaborate parody of Star Wars where made a lot of jokes making fun of it. I think Lucas actually endorsed it and was a huge fan. Made a lot of jokes with it. Definitely tried to be really funny.
Yeah.
Humor's definitely his strong suit, I can say for sure.
Spaceballs is just so iconic.
Yeah.
But there's actually a second one happening.
Coming,
yeah.
Very soon.
I mean,
I
he
think
is
2027.
He's 99. He's still
That is
doing
impressive.
That's shocking. He's lived there that long.
When you're 90, you gotta retire.
Yeah.
What is he, Wolverine? You make him do this till he's
Deadpool,
90.
yeah.
Man. Do this till he's 90. Phoebe, who do you think of?
So who I think of is a guy named John Ford, and
Okay.
what I've read on him is he just sounds like, I would say, just a little creepy because I think he has like a forceful personality, and he just sounds, what I've just like a quick little Google search, and what I found was like he would always wear, and I get this, he would wear an eye patch or sunglasses because his left eye was very sensitive to light, which is something I think some people can relate to because some people do have sensitivity to, but I thought that was really interesting. And then the movie that I think that he did I think it was
We're talking about John Ford, correct?
John Ford, yes.
He did How the West Was Won.
That's what I was, okay, that was
yeah.
the one I was going for. And I think it was a Western movie, and I don't know too much about it, but Yeah, I don't know too much about it.
How the West Was Won is obviously a Western movie. I grew up a lot on Westerns. I watched Gunsmoke or MASH or Bonanza, stuff like that. So it's basically just like that. So if you're into Westerns, obviously watch How the West Was Won. But great picks. Honestly, I did not think of John Ford, honestly. That was like the last thing on my mind. Now, let's move on to newer directors. Who are we thinking of? The first one I think is obviously James Gunn. He's
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and
That's a good
Superman.
choice.
Superman, obviously one of my
He's a good director.
top movie of
Spot
all
on.
time. Yeah, because when he's doing a comic book movie, he does research about it because nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Guardians of the Galaxy should have flopped. The reason is he made them so loved and so likable.
I remember going in the theater in 2015. Who are these guys? And I come out, I love these guys. You
Yeah,
know?
people
I
thought they
think
were
I
going to be
was the same. Well, who are these? Because they're not from the main. They're not from the main like. I'm
line
saying
up
Marv-
with Avengers and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
kind
They're
of more
not with the
side
main like
characters.
MCU. They're going to
Yeah.
be, you may know characters like Captain America, Iron Man, but you're not going to
Spider-Man, Iron Man,
Spider-Man,
yeah.
but you're not going to know anything about all these side characters unless they make a movie about it.
They flesh them out.
You have to make also that movie really good. So you really do need a good director in order for that movie to make a spark and to be a very good success.
Nobody knew who Guardians were because now they're as famous as the Fantastic Four used to be. Because Fantastic Four was again the first Marvel family, and obviously X-Men and the Avengers and
I think also that
Defenders.
too. And then also when that movie, it is action based, but it's very, I think it adds some comedy to it that I feel like it adds some comedy. And I think it gives a good mixture for a movie.
Because as the kids would say, the gun never jams. James Gunn, he is not afraid to go dark with the story. He's not afraid to add humor when it's necessary. But the way he writes a story and puts you in that story, he's not afraid to go as comic booky as possible. Obviously with Superman, he had Guy Gardner, Mr.
Yeah,
Terrific,
the
Hawk
haircut.
Girl, and
Yeah.
Metamorpho. And nobody was like, wow, these characters are actually awesome, because no one knew who the Guardians were unless you were an actual comic reader. And what he can bring to the screen is just absolutely amazing. And that's why I love film and movies so much, because he brings that vision to
And I mean, that's
people.
what makes a good director. You need to have that vision to bring something to life. Like, even if it's something that's very hard to, with special effects and all, and other things to a movie, you
Yeah.
need that vision because if you don't have a vision, you're not going to have a successful movie. You're just going to have a big flop of a movie.
That's what I'm saying. Let's move on. Phoebe, who do you have?
So in that case of directors, I went with J.J. Abrams, and
Good.
he's known for his action and his scientific fiction movies and his action movies. So it's relating to James Gunn here. He did 2 movies, Star Trek, it's a remake. So while there is many Star Treks, this is the 2000 and
9, I believe.
I think it's 9.
Is it?
I think
It's either
it's
9 or
so-
11.
I think
can't
it's
remember.
I think it's
Don't
yeah, I
quote-
think it's
don't quote
9,
us on
I believe.
that.
Don't quote us, yeah.
Don't quote us on that.
But that movie was, I think it was very creative, and even if it was a remake, I think how they made each actor how they made the emotions for each actor, that's a big thing. And then having the creativity with the different scenes and having with just the different characters, and you need that in a movie.
Yeah.
And then for my other one, which was, I believe it was Mission Impossible 3. There were many movies, and he did produce don't quote me on this, but I think he did produce at least most of the Mission Impossible movies. This is the only one he directed himself. And I think looking at it, it was very creative, and working with probably Tom Cruise, he also has a vision. Like Tom Cruise has a vision, and J.J. Abrams also has a vision. But combining those two together, you get a really powerful movie that the audience is really just going to start. And I think just comparing the two, both what Star Trek is about space, and while Mission Impossible is more like of an action movie,
Spy
and
movie, yeah.
yeah, it's a spy movie. It creates its own culture in a way, and I think, but that's his specialty, is action movies and science fiction movies. So he did a really great job on both of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Some random lore. J.J. Abrams actually wrote a Spider-Man comic.
Oh, I did not
I
know
did not
that.
know that.
So it's called Spider-Man Bloodlines, where him and his son teamed up to write a Spider-Man comic. And it's about, we're going to get off track here, but it's about Peter's son growing up hating his dad, Peter Parker,
Which sounds like other
which
people about
sounds,
other
it's just the classic trope of hating my father. But
hating my
then
father. It just sounds like that one, that DC Batman and Damian Wayne's Robin. So
Batman
it's
versus Robin, that
yeah,
animated movie.
that's a movie that
Yeah. Great pull, by the way. Yeah, but so he wrote that comic and it was so hated by everyone because no one liked the story. If
because
you
I
want,
just don't think it really just makes. And he's not a Marvel, I think, director because that's not his specialty. Saying with Star Trek and Mission Impossible, those are his specialty. But I think superheroes. But also, I think it's also really hard to create superheroes and
Yeah.
finding that actor that really, I think, really fits the role. If you
Mhm.
think about the three Spider-Mans that came out,
oh yeah,
Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, they're all different in their own way, and each Spider-Man movie is different.
Yeah.
But there were both, I think, two of them, at least Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they weren't considered teens in a way, while Tom Holland, I think, more fit the role as the Spider-Man.
I completely agree with that.
Sorry,
Obviously,
a little off topic.
no, my Spider-Man's obviously Garfield, but Toby's I think is everyone's favorite. But
Toby's my favorite. Yeah.
I think Garfield has the more Spider-Man-esque. He's more quippy, more athletic, but let's
But it
move on.
really just depends on who you're going to really mention.
It's just your personal pick, to be honest. Let's move on. So who did you pick for newer
I
directors?
picked Spielberg, so obviously he's pretty well known. He helped on Star Wars, didn't direct it. Then he himself directed, obviously, most of the Indiana Jones movies, not the newest one that just came out a few years ago. I think James Mangold did that one, but
yeah.
Close Encounters is another one. E.T. is one. Schindler's List.
Jaws too.
I think, did he do Jaws? I
He
can
did-
never
he did
remember if it
Jaws,
was him or Lucas, but
I didn't know he did Schindler's List.
yeah, I think I want to
Yeah,
say it was
that's
the
like-
90s when he did it. I can't remember for sure. But
Actually,
with
actually, Schindler's List is actually in the top 10 best movies of all time,
No, that's awesome.
according to IMDb.com. If anyone wants to check that out. Great pick for directors. Anything you want to say about Spielberg? before
with
we-
Spielberg, I definitely think he's not as, I guess, humor's not really his strong suit. He can do like subtle like jokes with, especially I think that's one of the big reasons that people didn't like when they rebooted it with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There's so many jokes that people just, it went over the top and everybody didn't.
And like I said, you or what I'm saying now is you have to have that best to make a movie that's to make comedy in a movie. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Think about Gabriel Iglesias, for example. He's very good at stand-up comedy, but I think putting it into a movie,
It's not going to work the same way.
Yes. And especially with directors that are not as, they don't have that spark to be funny. That's a whole nother way that I think comedies can flop pretty too.
Because Gabriel Iglesias did have a show, I
Yes,
think
he
on
did.
Hulu. Yeah, I've never seen it.
He
but
also had a
hear
show.
it's
I think
funny.
it was on Netflix. I think.
Yeah, I think it was on Netflix.
It was on
If
Netflix.
not
I've seen
Hulu.
that show and it had me laughing. Like it was so funny. But looking with other movies or just that, maybe just one episode of Gabriel Iglesias' show on Netflix and looking at movies, that's funny. And some movies are like that because they have really good people that can actually do comedy. Directors is one, but also having actors that can actually do that is another. So that really makes another.
Because I think it also has to do with theater as well, because
Yes.
theater is very difficult to do when you're doing comedy. Like it's easy to do horror, it's easy to do drama, but with comedy, you have to make the timing right.
Like that's probably, I think that's like the hardest genre to even try to do.
Yeah.
I think, that's probably the hardest. And I think action movies as well, because they involve a lot of fight scenes and it involves a lot of stunt doubles. Some actors are going to just do it themselves. Like Tom Cruise is going to do it himself. He will not ask for a stunt double. He's going to do it. Even if it's the movie is delayed or whatever, he's going to do it. But it takes a lot of coordination and vision and with a director with that, you have to work with everybody. You got to work with the stunt coordinators because you want to keep everyone safe. And I think that's a big director's job is to figure out, okay, where does this scene need to go? Where does this scene need to go? Basically, etc.
Yeah.
I do think with especially Raiders of the Lost Ark, Harrison Ford kept doing the stunts and he wouldn't let his stunt double do anything.
Harrison Ford is just a grumpy old.
Yeah.
You
He
ask
wants
him
to do
about
it his
Star Wars,
way.
he's
Yeah.
can you
He's
please
not
go
going to
away?
tell you anything.
No, he's probably not.
Which is insane because you're most known for Han Solo.
Yeah.
If I was known for a famous role, of course I'd want to glare the crap out of that role.
And that's
So-
also too, some directors can also be very grumpy and some can be very happy and stuff like that. But it really, and some have like really great relations
Mhm.
with the actors and stuff, and some cannot. So it really depends on what director who you get if you're in a movie with them. So
Yeah, like Spielberg and Lucas and Ford are all very good friends.
yeah,
The whole reason why he was on Solo was he wasn't even reading the lines. They had him as a stand-in because he was working as a carpenter. He went in, did it, and they said, "Yeah, we want you. You're going to be Han Solo," and he got roped into the role.
which he did not want to get roped into the role
Yeah.
at all.
Mhm.
He tried to get rid of his character like so many times, and then he said, "Okay, I will return, but I'm." But spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, I'm just if I die, that's it.
The
Because
only reason
I don't
he
want to
came
do
back
it,
for Force
and it
Awakens.
just sounds like Harrison Ford just didn't. Number one, I know he's old and everything, and no offense to him, but I think just he was grumpy about it, and
He wanted to do his own thing.
yeah,
He had his fun with Han Solo, and it kind of
it did not fit
wasn't
his
really
role.
his thing anymore.
Yes,
especially with that Solo movie with
Yeah,
younger
Alden
Han Solo.
Ehrenreich. Yeah,
I didn't see it, and I wasn't interested in seeing that.
I think I saw some of it.
It was
but
okay.
It was all right.
That's what I hear. I hear it was like mid. It was okay.
like a Han Solo movie without Boba Fett isn't going to be great. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but again, it ties back to directors and stuff. So
Yeah.
if you don't have a good director, you're pretty much just gonna have a big flop of a movie.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
not
gonna be.
gonna have
It's gonna be like
chemistry.
Solo
Yeah,
or other movies in that sort of way.
Because I believe that in order to make a good story, the director and writer have to be on the same page
Yes.
to make it good.
and they have to be having a good time with agreeing
Yeah.
with the script, with what's going to happen.
They're the vision. They have to. I know the producers. They usually do the budget, but the directors have to work with the budget they have to create a movie that's going to be award winning in that way. And some movies are award winning, and some movies, aren't.
Yeah. Especially with the writing process, I know that's not one of the easiest things to do because a lot of scripts go through rewrites, you take stuff out, you rewrite some stuff. Because that happened with a lot of movies recently, where especially with Thunderbolts,
with the writer's strike, I think.
I know with
writer's strike is insane.
I know with Disney, I think one movie that really I watched was Raya and the Last Dragon, and they said it was supposed to be. Now, if you've seen the ending, it's much more. It's very happy, but originally, I think the writers were going to really make it very dark. The dragon was just not going to survive in that scene, but they changed it because number one, it's a kids movie, but number two, Disney's supposed to be made with happy endings and stuff, but but changing scenes could really just change the outcome and stuff with trailers as well. Because when you watch some of the trailers, some of the stuff that you might see may not be lining up with the actual movie that you watched.
It's hit or miss with trailers because either they don't show enough,
Yeah,
they spoil something in the movie, or
they show stuff,
or
that
they show
just
stuff
gets
that's not in the
completely
final cut.
Yeah.
I completely agree with every point. A good director has to have a good writer. It's
He
all
has
about the
to- he has to have a-
imagination too.
yeah. The movie's great, and the actors they're going to be. It's a hit or miss, but really, what's really the hard working is the crew. Like you think the actors are going to be they're at work, but they're going to be doing the fun stuff. But the behind the scenes, the crew really should be getting like all the credit because they, or at least most of the credit because they do a lot of the behind the scenes. They got to coordinate everything, and the actors just follow the script and whatnot.
Because especially when actors get recognized for movies they've been in,
Yes.
that was the director and writers thing. It's, hey, I was the one who had that idea.
And that's
so-
in award shows. Like if the actor gets recognized for that, and they say, I like when they say thank you to someone. That's meaningful because
Yeah.
that's what they did, or that's what the behind the scenes did to make them a successful actor.
So we're going to honorable mentions for our current directors. I'll start. I had obviously James Gunn obviously did Scooby-Doo, which everyone has, I would hope, have seen. Have you seen Scooby-Doo, Phoebe?
Which one?
The live action one.
Okay, which live action one was it? The one with Robbie Armel, or I think Freddie Pinez Jr. I think that's his name.
The fact I have
Freddie
to-
Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
I think he was in
I
the early
think so.
2000s ones.
Okay,
and then
that's I
Sarah
have
Michelle
seen
Gellar.
I've that one.
the fact I have to clarify that is so disappointing. But yeah, he did Scooby Doo, which is so iconic because you scroll through Instagram or TikTok and
Yeah.
you just see clips of that. And
It's really
But again, I
funny
think they've been
too.
like so many Scooby Doo's at this point.
It's really funny too that the actor and actress who play Daphne and Fred are literally married in real life. They've
Oh,
been
yeah.
married for 20-something years.
they've been married longer than we've been alive. That's
That's crazy.
insane. Obviously, the Shaggy actor, I think Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
But he's
Matthew
played
Lillard,
yeah.
Shaggy since. So and,
Literally,
like,
they basically upgraded him to the.
because he's
for
Shaggy in
that,
like
yeah.
every single, because he has a good voice for it. And that's the thing with actors is you can get a person that you really like, so you say, oh yeah, we're gonna bump you up from this movie to just doing
Like full time.
full time for that
Work
character.
for that.
Yeah,
He was also in Scream.
Yeah.
That's insane. And they just make way too many Scream movies at this point.
it's too many.
Yeah.
To me personally, they all run together to me. They all run together. To me, it's just one big
It's
marathon.
and you know what? I'm gonna say this. It's with any horror movie. They make it where, oh yeah, it's you get killed and then you're
The
just gonna
same
get killed.
premise over and
It's the
over.
Surprise, I'm
same.
not
It's the
dead.
same. It's Pride. I'm not dead. Yeah, it's like they kill. That's one person. They kill. They go on a killing spree, and then the people work hard to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
They figure it out, and then he ends up just getting murdered, or either he lives or just gets murdered.
Speaking of too many movies and too many sequels, mine was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Let's hear
it
your
was my
Crystal
favorite. It was my
Skull
favorite in the
opinion.
franchise. I know that people don't like it, but
For good reason.
yeah, I definitely think they tried too hard to have humor in it and just too much unrealistic, like random side adventures.
When people say
Unfunny bits.
adventures it's so much scenes into
It was
one.
adventures to CGI groundhogs,
Yeah.
man-eating ants, and fridges that will somehow protect you from nuclear blasts. But
Well, with that being said, I already said this one already because I did a kind of review on it. Mine was the Mission Impossible 3, which was J.J. Abrams' only movie that he directed, or the only movie that he directed from that series.
I believe that's true, right?
That is
Yeah,
true. I
Hollywood
did look
that's
that up,
probably
yes.
my
Yeah.
favorite Mission Impossible as well. That was a fun
I think,
one.
yeah, that's mine
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
The stakes are so high. A lot of good fight scenes. Owen Davian's probably one of the best.
But I think
spy action movie
working with
villains ever.
Tom Cruise. Come on, Tom Cruise is like a legend here. He's gonna
Yeah.
go down as like one of the probably Hollywood's Hall of Fame or something because he's
Yes.
are really good at stunts, and having his vision
Yeah.
with a director, you can create a really good movie with that.
100%. It's crazy. I've really never met someone that's actually enjoyed Crystal Skull.
Yeah,
And I
I
respect
know.
that. No, I respect that. That's insane. Obviously, I've only seen the first Indiana Jones like one time, like a very long time ago. But
I definitely recommend watching the other 4. Not as big of a fan as the newest one, but hey, I saw it with my dad. It was a fun memory.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull were very underrated for me, and I like them a lot.
especially with movies, if people talk about the nostalgia part of the Raimi trilogy, I think movies can be good with theater experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, Endgame. I remember seeing that in theaters and be like, this is the best movie I've ever seen I've seen it in a while of all time. Then I rewatch and I'm like, it's a little slow in the beginning.
Yeah. I think part of it's the crowd work, especially for that too, where you have so many different characters from different like Marvel comics and
Yeah.
series.
Which
and
some
runs
people like, but some people just don't
Yeah.
understand. They made just like the Avengers, like the first Avengers that came out. But then when you add it, and then you go all the way to Endgame, you add
you
so
had
many.
everybody.
Then it's a
People
little
think it's just
confusing.
straight up
It's a
fan
little
service,
confusing,
but-
but if you've seen the entire series,
You understand.
yeah, you'll understand what they're going with.
Yeah, like with the Raimi trilogy, everyone's, the reason why Toby's your favorite Spider-Man because of nostalgia. I didn't grow up with Toby. And
Neither,
he's the
yeah.
best.
I never
Spider-Man.
grew up
I
with
grew
Toby.
up when I remember vaguely when I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. Never watched it. Saw part of the first one. Couldn't really stand it. I think it was the CGI, but
I think what the first one
The
I ended
Chasm 1?
yeah,
Really?
I did not like either of the TASM movies.
I have no idea what that is.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
I have
How
no
many
idea what that
did you-
is. But what I was saying is, I think the first Spider-Man movie that I ended up watching was actually Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movie, which I didn't, because number one, I did not know there was like 3 Spider-Mans, and I think I looked them up after, but yeah, I didn't know there were 3 Spider-Mans, but I think that's what because I think that was his, because each Spider-Man has a different age or different like age that they did him in, so that's what I guess age group I was.
I also like TASM 1. I think TASM 2 to me is, I like TASM 2. I think the way you like Crystal Skull is the way I like
Yeah.
TASM 2. But TASM 1, the writing part of it, it's like they made him more traumatic, and I liked that. Where the last conversation he has with Uncle Ben is he's having an argument.
Yeah.
And I think that added more to the stakes when he gets shot in front of that store.
That's the last time he talks
That's
to
the last
him.
time he talks to him. And then the only thing he has is a voicemail. And
It's very tragic in that way, and it really can go to a real life situation.
yeah,
That someone that you really have a bad relationship with whoever, and then something happens, and then
You don't get to mend that
you
friendship. You're
don't
kinda
get to
just
mend
stuck
it.
with.
You're just stuck living with that for the rest of your life. That's what, yeah. So it goes, that movie or that scene can go into, and that's, some scenes can go into real life situations that people have, dealt with.
yeah. Because I love the way movies are written, because there can be some movies or some characters, a part of movies that can be so relatable.
Yes.
Obviously, Spider-Man, he has so much on his plate, but then he does the right thing, and with great power.
Well, he's a teen hero. He's supposed to, while the Avengers, they're more for like the adult generation. You want a hero who's in high school, who's still in high school, and who can relate to if this might be, Spider-Man might be your favorite character because he relates to you.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, he's
yeah.
always like dealing with the schoolwork, dealing with Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy, depending on what parish it is. Always getting like beat up by every single villain imaginable.
Especially with other comic book characters that are written to be relatable. Obviously, my favorite is Superman. I love Superman, but he's not written to be relatable. He's written to be an example.
Inspiring.
Give you hope, because you don't want to look at Superman and be like, I want to be like him. You
Yeah,
wanna
some
look
of
at
them
him and
wrote.
be like,
Yeah, some of them wrote that wrong, or some of the movies they didn't do it right.
for example, Man of Steel. But Superman is written to be just that dad energy.
Yeah.
He's the dad of the friend group. And when I read comic books of Superman, the way they're written, especially in the movies, like the recent movie that came out, Superman with James Gunn, I thought
Yes.
that was done beautifully, of how they dig more into his humanity and they dig more into his vulnerableness because of that 12-minute scene of the interview.
Because
with
some
him with Lois
movies they
Lane.
just, and that's the problem with some movies. They make either a villain or a superhero just so powerful that it's so hard to defeat them. And then maybe in the next movie where they're just like, they just get knocked out with one punch and they're done.
Yeah. That's what everyone has the problem with Superman, because, he's too overpowered. He doesn't go through struggles. If you think about it, he's the most alone superhero because his entire planet was destroyed. And the only piece he has is his cousin, because he's alone. And
yeah, and
he's
in some
alone.
comics his dog too, but
with Crypto.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then later on, he has obviously Connor
But
Kent,
if we're going just
Superboy
to-
clone, and
But even before his cousin, it was just him by himself on Earth,
Yeah.
and with just no other aliens.
Yeah.
And he just he had a hard time adjusting. Plus, he's living on a farm, but he also has powers. That's the other part of it. And that's what makes it really hard. You're you're this big, strong person on the outside, but on the inside, you're just like, okay, I don't really fit in because, well, number one, I'm an alien, but number two, I have these amazing powers, but I don't know what to do with them.
yeah, especially with how he's written in the comics of how he's the most powerful being in the universe and still chooses to be humble. And that's what I think everyone should take an accountability of. If I have this certain difference about me, why don't I make it like better?
Like
You know?
you may have strong superpowers, but I think your real strength just comes from the inside, just you, not using
Yep.
your powers, just using what you have, being humble, being who you are. That's really the biggest superpower.
And I think that's what the writing of Man of Steel didn't understand. Because Zack Snyder read 300, Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, and made a Superman movie. He doesn't really understand. Those are just my personal opinion. He doesn't understand the character of Superman at all. because the way he writes, he wants to make everyone just a god.
I can also commented on Harry Potter's Goblet of Fire. That's the same thing that happened. The guy,
Stayed too far away
he,
from the
yeah,
source
he
material.
just he
Too
standed
far.
way just too far. He read maybe a piece of it and just said, "Okay, I'm just gonna make a movie about it," and
No,
it
that's,
just made no sense.
no, that's generous. He looked at the front and back and said, "Yeah, I think I got just of this." This man, Man of Steel is just, oh my god, it's not. It's a good looking movie, but it's not the best written, I would say.
You need to do research.
Yeah.
I think I would say one movie that did like excellent research. I haven't seen it yet. I still need to see it. Is I think it's the recent movie about Bob Dylan. And I think it's
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about.
yeah, I forgot the name of that movie, but what I've heard about it is that during COVID-19 is Timmy Chalamet, he did a bunch of research on Bob Dylan. And you know what? That takes dedication of a true actor right there. And even with directors, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really comment on it. But the backstory of it, preparing for the role, that takes really a lot to do. And especially in 2 years and you're making other movies, just doing this one character, you're going to make a great movie that way, basically.
Yeah, agree with that completely. Just obviously, because I'm the type of guy to buy the DVD or Blu-ray and then watch behind the scenes to really get a glimpse of what's going on behind the scenes, and everything is just so interesting. Like they even talk about the storyboards or the writing process or the early CGI shots, which I find really interesting. But obviously, we mentioned earlier writer strikes, that really kills what the original ideas for movies, and if it gets worse, we're not gonna have
like some people make movies, and I think there was supposed to be a Wonder Twins movie. I believe, yes, and I think KJ Appa was supposed to be one of the actors. I forgot who the other actress was. Then they just said, "Oh no, we're just gonna pull it," which some people may want to see, and some people may not want to see.
Can we also talk about how McKenna Grace is in everything I've seen?
She's every blonde girl nowadays.
Literally.
Every single.
I can say from I think that movie The Gifted, where she was so super smart, to Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Same
It's
character.
come on,
Same
really?
character.
And also, obviously, she's
It's
now
just
cast
typecast now.
and obviously she's now cast as Daphne, which to me
And
that's
that's
just a
I think the
cop-out.
problem with some movies
That's a
is they
cop-out.
just cast them.
They cast someone knows just to try to get more people interested. And
Get someone who
She's in
hasn't been.
everything.
If you're a good director, or some director that's just fairly new, or that can make a good movie but is fairly new at it, just cast someone that's a little bit newer. They can probably give
think
you
what
better
George
results.
Lucas did.
Yeah.
He didn't want anybody well known for Star Wars.
Completely, everyone was unknown.
The whole reason why Harrison Ford's in so many things is because he
Star
tried
Wars
to get
made him famous.
newbies.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
after a while, people are just going to get tired of seeing the same person over and over.
it's we just got the Batman you casted. Oh, it's Timothy Chalamet. Terrible.
The recent Batman with what's his face,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Patterson. He's been in like a couple movies we've been known, and get someone new to do that.
They are casting a Batman for the new DCU, which I'm very stoked for. I have a dream cast in mind, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, just the writer strikes is just ruining what movies are now. And especially, I'm gonna give you an example of casting big names that doesn't work for a story that also doesn't work. Borderlands. That movie had Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, Ariana Green something. She was in
Greenblatt. I think.
Greenblatt.
Wasn't she?
She was
young
in-
Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series.
She was, yeah. Borderlands was such a disaster that they were like, this story's not going to work. So let's cast big names as much as possible. Get Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart. And it just was not.
I've not seen that
Good.
movie, and I probably plan to even see it.
I watched a review on YouTube, and yeah, it's terrible. It's bad.
Like, you can put big names in a movie, but not every actor is not wanting to do that. And I think that's the problem with movies today is back then movies were great, and because they had a good selection of them. But now movies, I just feel like have just gone downhill. I'm going to say that with TV series as well. The first season, I'm going to say The Flash by Grant Gustin. The first season, and the second season, they were good. They were pretty good. Then it just went down pretty fast.
Because seasons 1 through 4, peak writing, peak action, peak story.
And that's just like an example of writing, yeah.
And season 5 to 9, I was so underwhelmed.
I think that, and also with Stranger Things and Riverdale, actually, too.
I'm a big defender of Stranger Things season 5. I don't know about Either you. I really like the finale of season 5.
Pretty good. But I would say Riverdale, they made it, it was supposed to be like a big high school and mystery and stuff like that. But then they turn it into people with powers and different multiverses. And it just really just started not making any sense.
You want to know what other franchise has powers all of a sudden? Fast and Furious. Vin Diesel's over here lifting cars like he's Superman. And it's just, what are we doing? This first movie was
And
about
again,
racing.
they need to stop making Fast and Furious movies.
Like, how many cars are we? They went to space.
It's like the one cop show that they were having like meteors come down from space or whatever.
The Mom's Endgame 911.
I saw that, folks.
Like, my parents watched that show.
It says someone's Infinity War. I'm like, I don't care. This makes no sense.
My parents watched
Has
this
better
show.
taste.
Yeah, and my parents watched that show. So, Mom, if you're watching this, I like 911. But I remember seeing that trailer. I'm like, what are we doing? What can you do? Not brace for impact. What can you do?
Okay, but number one, you did a whole like 4 series of just them just driving cars. The next movie, they're like, oh yeah, space rock hits it, and they suddenly all get powers. And like, wait, what did they get? What?
It's like Cars 2 when they just turn everything into a spy movie where all the cars just start getting assassinated.
Thank you. Yes. Cars
It's
1.
like, where's the race? There's one race in this movie, and the entire thing is just, everyone keeps getting assassinated before said race.
Cars 1, racing. Cars 2, spy movie. Cars 3,
Lightning
racing.
McQueen sucks.
Cars 3,
Literally,
Fast
that's
and
all it
Racing.
is. Yeah.
It's insane, especially with Disney movies. We're rewriting the same script, just different.
Trilogies, yeah.
Just different.
I think also with all the Disney princesses and prince. Oh come on, I feel like you made just every movie's almost the same thing.
It's like a typecast, but instead of actors, it's just like a movie script.
Yeah. Especially copy and pasting. We're making everything live action.
Oh, yeah.
oh, they're not. Oh,
That's
no,
ridiculous
no.
when they do
Like,
that.
the only one that did it correctly was Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That was really good because I watched the animated one, which obviously was in my top 5 as a kid, which still probably is. But the remake with Emma Watson, I think
honestly,
beautiful.
I'm gonna say Belle's voice in the beginning in the animated version, it flowed, but it just felt like very off. I think Emma Watson, she hit the notes.
It's beautiful. And then Lion King,
That whole thing, that's just terrible CGI.
it's like watching Cats.
I heard about all the hate
I just don't
behind
think
that
it really
when
just
it
makes
came
sense.
out.
There's some things that need to stay a play.
Yeah.
And there's some things that can be a movie. Cats is not one of them. And Cats, obviously Taylor Swift is in that. Which
Well, you add that and a couple other people, big faces and stuff. But you need to make it just a musical.
I'm a musical guy. Y'all like musicals?
Let me just say.
Newsies, nothing else.
Let me just say this: if you decide to make Frozen a musical, you're just all that costume changing is come on.
Frozen the musical or Newsies the musical and Psych the musical for me. Anything else, I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
I'm a big Singing in the Rain guy. Make 'em laugh.
I have a sister who was really into acting, musicals, and stuff. She'd do it every road trip. It'd always be the same. Wicked.
Oh yeah.
Any musical soundtrack, and I'm like, I just can't do it.
But again, this goes back into directing and writing. You have to if you want to make a good musical, you got to have the writing techniques and the directing to make it really good.
Yeah. How do we feel about the Wicked movies? Oh, I see a. We don't like them.
Nah,
haven't
I just can't do it.
I haven't
It's
seen
never
some
my
of
cup
them.
tea.
I need to watch one of them at least.
The first one was really good. I haven't seen the second one though, with Jonathan Bailey, I believe.
I
He's not
have
a
no
bad actor.
idea.
Great actor. But really, you don't like Wicked?
It was never my thing. My sister loves it, but
It's you're gonna have a different genre than
I don't know, we're
everyone
gonna have
else,
different tastes,
so.
but there's a difference between right and wrong. But obviously, with the writing, Sam Raimi, I think, is brilliant because he is a horror movie director.
in
managed to
Spider-Man
make
too. If
Spider-Man.
you've seen like that whole hospital scene where Doc Ock's just like lying on the table and the arms are just throwing people across the room, is
Everyone talks about like Spider-Man 2 of their favorite scene is him getting his powers back, or the Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man fight. Him with the arms in the hospital, that's my favorite
just
scene.
Throwing the
lady with
one
the
lady,
nails.
the nails scratching across the
Which-
floor.
Is so cool. I watched the behind the scenes about that. Literally, that was her actual nails, and they just had
And it was like a
floor made of
rubber floor,
wax.
yeah.
And because he was like, we're gonna pull you, but we're just gonna put your
And the whole
finger-
time he's
yeah.
just asleep too. He doesn't even know what's happening.
People
What
are
is
not going to
that?
realize
Well,
it's
they're dead.
an actual person actually scratching their nails on something than
Yeah.
just something that they just came up with or something that just been
Funny too, that correlation, because Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock, was Satipo in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that was his first role. So
That is very true.
he
Yeah.
was the
I
guy who
forgot about
betrayed
that.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones and stepped in the light and then
Yeah.
immediately died.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Christopher Nolan. How can we talk about directors and not mention Christopher the Pimp Nolan? Like, he is just amazing with Interstellar, obviously.
Dark
with
Knight
every-
trilogy as well.
Yeah. How do you go from beautiful cinematography and awesome writing and then make a Batman movie?
Yeah.
That's absurd. That's insane how we did that. Obviously, Batman Begins, the fight scenes were a little questionable, but the movie in general is just amazing, especially with the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight has arguably one of the best villain introduction, opening scenes ever, with Joker and the bus and the bank
Which honestly, I
robbery
feel like,
sequence.
with any Batman movie, they have the good characters with just a man with really good martial arts and just a strong strategist to beat all these villains that are just, I feel like they're stronger than probably any other villain that any other people have, any other superheroes.
And then especially in the end of Dark Knight, where Nolan writes of Batman being the villain at the end, or the cops are coming after him.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
That's a good-
Why are
that's
we
twisted.
chasing him?
Yeah.
Because we know he can take it.
Yeah.
Well, because Batman himself is a weapon. Like, he can be the hero and the villain. He's like that anti-hero, anti-villain in that way. Everybody's just going to come after him because he can defeat anybody, even with just
He
his
can
mind.
be a powerhouse, and he can be a real
Like, he can
liability
be-
if he doesn't
yeah.
do what.
now don't be those people
Gordon
that be
wants.
like, oh, Batman can beat everyone with prep time, because not true. But
I wasn't going to say all that, but
Me neither.
but especially with the Dark Knight, you can't think of Batman without thinking of Bale's voice.
Oh yeah.
'Cause every time someone Batman, they're like, where is she? Like, it's
Yeah.
it's so iconic. It's especially with Heath Ledger's performance. When you think of Joker, you immediately think of Ledger, and just the way he wrote
You want to know
Joker.
how I got these scars?
You want to know how I got these scars?
some actors are fit for the role to
Yeah.
play that person, and so it's okay. Here's the thing: if any movie, and it may just be terrible, but then you see this one actor he's the best. He carried the show he carried the movie the entire time it was playing. Sorry, all the other characters are just horrible. He's the one that carried the movie.
Because in order to achieve that, you have to write them.
Yeah.
Because an actor can fit a role perfectly.
But
You
again,
just need
this
a
goes back.
good
But again,
story.
this go back to the behind the scenes. Actors are just the front. They are is what's seen. But but the crew is what makes the movie really successful, and can plan it and has the vision to plan it.
Because the actors are just the puppets, and the directors
Yeah.
and producers are just the ventriloquists. They're the one doing everything that the actors are doing, and
It's like that movie. It's like that recent movie with what's his face. The last movie we just saw for one of our classes.
Oh, Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman Show.
Yes.
The directors really just had full control of
His life.
his life. He didn't have anything. He's just the puppet of just, if you put strings and stuff on him, he's just the puppet. He's not going to be you're not the leader of the role. Yes, your face is on it,
Yeah.
but you're not, you're the star in a way, but you're also not the star.
And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good
night.
Which, great line. And even writers, they can write one-liners or just a line that can immediately become so iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Keaton was the first one to say, "I'm Batman," because obviously Tim Burton wrote that, and he didn't know that was going to work. And
You can write the line, but having the actor having the right actor to say it, it's going to be iconic.
Yeah.
With Empire Strikes Back as well, the carbon freezing scene. It was supposed to be, I love you too. And Harrison Ford said, nah, Han Solo's not like that. So he went and said, I love you.
I love
know."
you. I know.
Because
That's
some writers can do the characters just really bad. It really depends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all up to the writers. Writing can be really stressful too.
I think also just creating, you have all these movies with different, like Marvel and DC, or just stuff from comics or stuff from books. It's hard, but it's not truly, I say it's not truly hard in a way. It's in between. But if you have to actually write a movie from scratch, sorry?
I just said, yeah, I was agreeing with
Yeah, from scratch, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, especially with Harry Potter. Harry Potter movies, iconic. What are we doing with the show?
Some of it.
What are we doing? Not
Canceling it
counting
after
Alpha.
the first season, probably.
It's going to be those shows to only get one season. I would call
Because
it
people are going to be used to seeing Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, or Rupert Grint and seeing, they're not going to be used to seeing these new actors that are coming in to play them.
And they are apparently making this closer to the book than the movies. And seeing the trailer,
We'll see how
Nah.
successful
are
they
we
are.
sure?
Are like
The only thing I'm going to say, the only thing I would probably get it credit for is at least for a movie, it's only for a specific time. Like you can only do it within 2 hours. But with a series, you can create it as long as, as
you
well.
can add in everything. You don't
add
have
in-
to worry
yeah.
about runtime, really.
Yeah, that's really what I'm saying. That's the only part I would say that's somewhat, but I'm not sure how this is going to go.
And I don't know if they're going to do a book every season. Like season 1's
I
gonna
think that's
be
what they planned on doing, I believe.
Sorcerer's Stone, season 2, Chamber of
Yeah.
Secrets, and then that. But again, I really hope they write it well, and I hope they've read the books, because if they don't,
If Dumbledore doesn't ask calmly, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be very upset.
because Dumbledore is just a calm, friendly giant, and if they write him to yell at Harry, I'm gonna crash out and I'm gonna make some calls.
No,
I'm
if
with you on
it's going to depend on the first episode and see how it does. If the first episode is horrible, no one's going to really watch it.
Like going back to James Gunn, Peacemaker, that show is amazing, especially with his writing and no one knowing who Peacemaker is unless you're an actual hardcore comic reader. Everyone
I
knows
didn't know who
is.
Peacemaker is. Like
I didn't either. Yeah,
I didn't either. Yeah.
and I think he did make an appearance in Absolute Superman, but that was like recently. But he writes these characters. John Cena was obviously made for this role with the
He's
writing
strong,
and
yeah,
everything. Yeah,
He's a wrestler, he's strong and stuff like that. But that's the one thing I like about TV shows and some TV shows is they bring characters that don't get much spotlight into the spotlight, and they're like really good.
Yeah.
Like I think also that it goes with those Marvel, like Jessica Jones or Daredevil.
Yeah.
In some cases. But those heroes that haven't really been in the spotlight, they get
Yeah.
brung up to their own TV show. It's okay. This is something worth watching.
Yeah, especially with writers when they make a really good season 1 and they're like, let's do this, but we add more stuff. That could be hit or miss. For example, Stranger Things season 1 turned into a mystery. Season 2 went from him having PTSD about what happened to him, and then season 3 we have Russians and the store court mall thing, and because I recently just rewatched the show, so everything's fresh on my mind.
It can
right
be
now.
good, but again, it's hit or miss with that, and it could really it could ruin the whole series.
And then the season 5 writing is very questionable, I would say.
I think people love it. Some people love to watch it, but the writing can be a little interesting.
Oh yeah, and especially because too. So it's you have to have a good imagination to write something good, and if you don't have that imagination, nothing's gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, you do have to. You may not have the writing skills to do it, but if you can tell someone what your vision is, and you can able to explain it just clearly. Okay, I want to do this and this. They're like, okay, this could be something.
Yeah.
But for me, I have the imagination, but I don't have the skills to write everything down.
Yeah.
So I can't really write it, but I can create it in my head. And
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. Are you a big Stranger Things guy?
I never was. No.
Really? I recently just, for the first time, watched the show during Christmas time because I've never seen it, and watched it, and I thought the writing was brilliant until season 5 was questionable.
I would say I think I watched maybe the first season, and then I just could not watch the rest of it.
Really?
Well, it's not that I like it, but it's just I was watching other shows too at that time.
Oh, okay. Especially with the writing of with The Flash,
Yeah,
seasons 1 through 4.
but also I'm always, if I see a good season and stuff. But the one thing I'm gonna say, like I watch probably with TV series is with Stranger Things. It's you have the first season and okay, the ending's okay. I'm very excited, but then it takes a long time for it to be, or it takes a long time for season 2 to come.
Yeah.
So
It messes up the narrative.
I just lose interest, like maybe a little bit. Like I want to watch this,
or
and then
just because it's gonna be good, or is it
yeah,
gonna
and
be a
then
letdown?
sometimes,
Yeah.
and I know with Netflix they usually put all the episodes out, which I think is great. But with HBO Max, you wait for the whole season, then when the season premiere, it's only one episode per week, which is it just ruins the whole vibe.
Same with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
One, maybe 2 episodes for the premiere, and then it's another 6 months until the whole show's out.
And you can
And half
tell,
the season is filler.
and you can tell that there's big gaps between the shows because of how fast the actors grow up. That was a big thing for Stranger Things,
Yeah.
and it's insane. But
That's the thing with
again,
child actors. They're going to grow up because
Oh, yeah.
you're starting from season 1, you start here, but then by season, say 2, they're like half their size.
yeah, they go from being in elementary school to be freshmen in high school. Like, it's insane. But to sum up everything we've talked about so far, writing is very important. I believe writing is very important, and having a great director to be on your side can make a great movie.
Having a writer is great. They're all put together. Having a writer to produce the great movie, having a director to lead that to lead the team, but also having a great producer who can help us manage the budgets and can get all the scenes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what makes a really good movie right there.
Yeah. So one last thing before we wrap it up. Out of all the movies that we watched, which ones were your favorite, depending on your director?
Of the director, I'm just going to say it. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
We're moving on. What about you? With your director, who was like your favorite movie you watched from your 2 directors? You had Ford and you had Abrams.
Okay, I haven't seen Ford, so I can't really say anything on that. I would say from J.J. Abrams, I would say Star Trek. I'm going to say that one. That was pretty good.
Okay. Obviously, with Gunn, between Scooby-Doo and Guardians, see, this is tough.
Hey, Guardians on
I
that
say
one. They're
Guardians.
both good. But
Guardians. I think I'm gonna lean in Guardians here.
Yeah, I think with Scooby-Doo, it's a hit or miss. They made so many. I think Guardians is something that hasn't been,
because Guardians started something.
Yeah.
It started
Yeah.
something.
not to mention that soundtrack, too.
Oh my god, yeah. Had an
Hooked on
entire thing on
Feeling,
Spotify,
Mr.
yeah.
Blue Sky.
That's a whole
Young
topic we
Gorilla.
could do another time.
Yeah, but so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think this was very great.
Yeah.
This is really good. We learned new stuff about each other, which we're gonna talk after. We're gonna talk
Yeah.
when these cameras roll off. But I just wanted to thank you guys for listening. Again, I'm your host Austin, and joined by my lovely co-host Phoebe and Heath, and we're gonna wrap it up. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.